Mike King B. Mike King is your host on the Mike Richmond's premier business radio program. We're heard as part of Mike King Biz Radio Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1 daily from 5 to 7 a.m. The Choice 105.3 every day from 2 to 3 p.m., as well as International Business Growth Radio. That is Saturdays 10 a.m. Eastern. That's where you find us. That's where the game changers come and talk. On the Mike King Biz Radio is the premier business radio program in Central Virginia.
I enjoy listening to On the Mic with Mike every day.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back on the Mike Premier Business Radio Program. I'm your host, Mike King. I appreciate you being here with me. This is part of the Mike Is Beat Media Network, which is ESPN Richmond 106.1 International Business Growth Radio, Saturdays 10 a.m. Eastern, as well as CW Richmond every Wednesday and Friday at 5 a.m. What we do is we talk to the game changers out there. Welcome back to the program, ma'am.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Alrighty, you're back again. Half of the team is here.
Correct.
The other half of the team is out there making magic happen.
That's right.
Really quickly, tell folks who you are and what you do.
My name is Dominique Chatters. I'm co-owner of JC3 Photography Solutions with my husband, Julius Chatters, who's out there making the money.
You're making the money. That's what we do. We do not stand in the way of making money. And we both are military folks.
Yes, we are.
In military marriages, we know how to conquer, split up and conquer.
Yes.
So, what, you hold this part down.
I'm going to go do this right here.
And we're going to meet back, and we're going to circle back up, and we're going to tell how we killed it.
Right.
All righty, really quickly. So you also have another endeavor that's going on. Let's talk about that as well.
Right. So I am a candidate for school board for the Dale District at Chesterfield County. I have 4 children, and they're all in Chesterfield County schools. I have been advocating for our district, going to these school board meetings religiously, making sure I'm holding our elected officials accountable. And now I've decided that I need to get a little bit closer in the game. I need to have a seat at the table where the decisions are being made on impacting our children in schools.
So you sat there and you're like, okay, something has to change and change it to start with me. Okay, let's go back to the photography business. What was the start of that, and what type of work do you guys do?
So Jay has always had a affinity for photography since he was in high school. And I'm more of the business-minded person. Okay. And so when we retired from the Army in 2013, we said, hey, we want to do something that we can work for ourselves, develop, and eventually turn over to our children. And we leaned on photography. So Jay is the premier photographer, the primary photographer. We have a crew now. We've expanded to being able to hire a crew to work with us. And I take care of the back end side. So I'm the assistant photographer. I do the scheduling, the appointments, the contracts, the invoice, the meetings.
Okay.
I do the face-to-face parts, and he takes care of all of the editing, the retouching, the photography. And so what we've been doing lately is we've got a drone now. So he's getting his drone license to be able to do aerial shots for those realtors who are interested in doing that. We still do school photography, senior portraits, weddings, dogs, pets. We have volunteer with the PTAs to help them with their fundraising. So we do some school dances and proms and things of that nature. And of course, because we're retired military, we always give them back. We do military balls as well.
Military balls, really?
Yes.
There you go. All righty. So is it just photography or is it videography as well?
So we do raw video. Jay is studying right now to get the editing piece down pat before we can start charging folks for that. But we do raw editing. So we'll do the raw edits and you can turn it over to anyone else. And they can cut it up and splice it up the way you need.
So you guys do the recording
Mhm.
and someone else.
Correct.
A lot of times when I talk to people, the editing is the issue. Like a lot of people like to shoot the video. And then when we get to the editing part, things kind of get squirrely and sideways.
It does.
It is. So when you guys started, you put the business together, you hung out your shingle. When, from a business standpoint, when did you know you had something?
Oh, that's a good question. So I would say once we got our first military job, because we did have a contract with Athens
Okay.
on post. They gave us a building. We put our stuff in there. We were going to run JC3 out of that building. And when we got that, we realized, you know what, we're onto something here. If we connect with our niche and our community, then people will respond to us. Our prices are extremely reasonable compared to some of our competitors in Richmond. Because we are supplemented with our retirement, we're not out there just trying to, beat people over the head on photography prices. Because they can get pretty pricey out there.
That it can be. So also, how do you stand out? So now, normally, folks, you see me, I am rocking my gear, but you're here rocking your gear. Yes. Oh, you rolling with the front and the back.
That's right.
When I see that's the way to do it. Alrighty, so when did that come about that you knowing, okay, I gotta put my name out there on stuff so people see who we are.
You know, we tried that when you first start out a small business, you look up online, like, what is the first thing a small business should do? Like, you gotta market. So we had vehicles decal. So our vehicle, two of our vehicles that we use for work are marked up with JC3 with our phone number. Yes, sir. So we have the orange Charger, because the company colors are orange and black, so we're keeping it in there. And then the silver minivan is all decked out with JC3 things. And then we said we want to look the part. So we have these sweatshirts, we have polo shirts that I have on, we have our formal attire, all decked out for JC3, depending on the event that we're going to be in. Because we don't want to stand out, we want to blend in, but we still want you to know who's here doing the work.
I like that. So from a business standpoint, how long have you guys been in business?
10 years.
Okay, so you're rolling along, things are moving smooth, you figured it out, COVID shows up, Corona shows up. How do you survive that to make it and still be standing? Because there are a lot of people say, man, I had some great years during COVID, and others it's like, ooh, people didn't make it. So you're still standing. What you learn from that period that you never did before, you're like, yo, that thing kind of worked.
So 2 things we did. We expanded the business. So the solutions in JC3 Photography Solutions applies to multiple things. We want to be the solutions to your embroidery needs. So we have an embroidery machine now. We can embroider hats, shirts, blankets, aprons, you name it, we can embroider that for you. And then we bought a press. So we started pressing shirts, pressing aprons, pressing what we do, some sweatshirts.
Oh, we got
So that is how we expanded the solutions part of it. And the other thing we did, we started another business. We started Chatters and Chatters Enterprises. It's an operations and logistics company. And the focus that helped me through the pandemic with that is I was helping other small businesses get structured, get organized, get your meetings right,
because
understand the
you knew
roles.
you were good at that.
The
and
Army helped prepare me for operational techniques and procedures. And I took some of that and implemented that into Chatters and Chatters. And so I'm the primary on that one. And I work with other businesses to get them streamlined, to help them understand how you should configure your organization, what the roles are for everyone. Because sometimes you have a great idea and you're passionate, but sometimes you need someone who's not passionate about it to look at it with fresh eyes to help you make sure that you're doing it right.
What's the number one thing that people when show up at your doorstep and need help with? The thing that you kind of see on a regular basis.
How to convert your passion into profit.
Oh,
Because, you know, I love my husband, but photography is his passion. And he would do it for free if I let it.
yes. So you're the person who has to be on him because he'll give his talents away because he's so in love with his talent.
Correct.
And you're saying,
Your talent can give you profit. And so what I've had people come to me about is, I don't know how to market what I'm doing. I don't know how to put a price tag on what I'm doing. And so I help them with the market research and the analysis to figure out, this is the going rate for our area. And I know that number might scare you because you want to do it for the love, but you need to come out of this with something, especially married people who are trying to do a business. Your spouse is looking for you to bring something into the house all this time to give it out.
and this isn't a hobby. This ain't a hobby.
Correct.
No, this is a business venture. What did you do in the Army?
I was a logistics officer.
You did the logistics thing down.
Yes, I do.
What did your husband do?
He was a logistics engineer, maintenance. He was maintenance.
So you
engineer.
guys understood that world of order and discipline
Mhm.
and having things work in a pattern, which a
Right.
lot of people do not.
Right,
A lot of people do not have that and understand that. So they're just shooting from the hip on a regular basis.
right. And so
And-
I'm helping them structure it. I need you to put it down on paper, because as soon as you put it down on paper, it becomes real.
How hard is that when you have people to put it down on paper? I know you ain't gotta say, I tell you what time it is. People look up and be like, ooh, Lord. It looked a lot better.
Yeah, it did. It always sounds better in your head. And then when someone asks you questions that get you to a precise point that you can start moving forward with, then it's like, I hated this process. But at the end of it, you're like, I'm glad we're here.
What's the engagement like for you on that business? How long do you work with people? Like, what's that look like?
So you can hire me for a monthly contract or a project contract. So whatever the project is you're working on. So let's say you need to develop your standard operating procedures. You remember SOPs.
SOPs, yeah?
So every small business should have how you operate. And so if you need me to help you work on that, that's a project. There's a flat fee for that. Or if you need step-by-step work So I'm working with a young lady. She's starting a African hair braiding business and she wants help with her website. So I'm not a website developer, but I can help you structure it so that at least it presents the way you want it to present.
Okay.
So that's a as needed basis. So she hired me every time she needs something. That's an hour session. We pay by the hour.
And that's an option that you guys have.
Correct.
What are the payment options for you, the way people work?
So if you're doing JC3, we take every credit card imaginable. We have an online pay system and the same thing for Chatter to Chatter. So we do invoicing. I can break you up monthly for your total bill. Because like I said, we're not trying to hit people over the head. So if it's a 12-month project, I can break your bill up to 12 months
Okay.
so that you can make payments toward your bill. You won't get your final product, obviously, until your payments are all completed, but we've never had an
An
issue.
issue with that. People understand the value. All right, let's touch on the husband and wife running the business thing. How do you guys, there you go with the laugh.
Well, I mean, it's different if I could, like, if he could fire me, he probably would want to fire
Yes.
me.
Not sometimes be like, yo, on a daily basis. Because I know, oh, man, like I said, when you say to me, Mike, put it down on paper, it was excellent right here. I had everything worked out. And then I put it on paper. You said, what about that?
So we try to balance each other because he's more creative and visionary than I am in that regard. And so I'm more like, hey, honey, that was a 3-hour contract. Don't stay there more than 3 hours. I'm gonna call you at the 3-hour mark. So you come home, you must leave the venue. So we're balancing each other. I'm learning from him, he's learning from me, but we do make up, and we got to turn it off like, hey, this is not business anymore. We're off of work, we're off the clock. Can I have my husband back? Because he's a taskmaster. He's an NTO, a retired senior NTO. Of course, he's like,
Chop, chop, we gotta get stuff done. People used to say about me and my wife, you guys run a military house, and we're like, we don't. Yeah, we because there's something about order. People fight order. They think kids and people want order. Everything is not the wild, wild west.
Right, you need a routine. And
Yeah.
our oldest, my bonus child, is Jay had a child before we got together. He's in the Army now, 26 years old at Fort Bragg. And what made him successful is he needed a routine. College wasn't enough of a routine for him. So then he stepped away from that. So, I'm going to try this Army thing and see if that is what the structure I need in my life. And he is specialist promotable now. And we are so proud of him.
It's that thing.
For
people who've never been in, like I said, shout out to the Army. They were matchmakers. I found me a wife there. Yo, not even looking. Because what
Right.
you do is people coming from different places. That's the way to make units work. That's the way businesses work. You learn how to have culture and how to delegate and make things happen.
And how to work with different varying backgrounds of
Yeah.
people. My battle buddy, when I first joined at Fort Knox,
You were at Knox?
them hills, Miss
Yes.
Agony Hill, right? So my battle buddy was a white female, and she had never seen Black people.
And when you tell somebody that who hasn't been in military,
They look at you crazy.
I remember a person told me that they thought that Black people grew tails when it was a full moon. And I'm like, that's the most ridiculous thing. But I thought everybody who lived in Alaska were Eskimos.
So then you
Exactly. I'm right there. Because what do I know coming from Philly?
Right.
But I know what the military does. I know what good organizations talk about. Talk to our business owners, people in leadership positions about setting culture. Say, because we've all seen the good NCO, the good officer who
Right.
get people to go to the mat for them. And then we see the one, man, when's this?
That's
dude?
the road. So he
He
retired on
retired on active duty. He riding it out. He is a short timer. It's like, how much time do I have left until I can get this check from Uncle?
Right. So I think culture starts with you being personable and relatable with your unit. And so when I was a company commander, 305 soldiers, I think what made me successful in that organization is that they saw me. I let them see me.
The real you.
Right.
Who you were.
It's not about, okay, yes, I'm a captain and I outrank all of you, or I'm a major and I outrank all of you. It's about, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I have hobbies, I'm competitive, I love sports. Those things outside of my uniform is what made our team so great because we appreciated, well, I did, what everybody was bringing to the table. And my philosophy when I coached and when I'm leading an organization is everybody has something to contribute. And my job is to figure out what that is and make you use it, help you develop that skill set and that talent. And if you do that in your organization, then you're going to breed a culture that's not afraid of failing, but understands that failing is an opportunity to learn, and we can always get better. And everybody has something to contribute.
On the mic, Dominique is here. We got to take a break. We'll be back in just a moment.
My name is Isabella, and you're listening to My King Biz Hubby. That's my scam.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back on the mic with Mike back here with Dominique from
JC3 Photography Solutions.
JC3 Photography Solutions is here with us. All righty, so now what type of clients you guys looking for now?
We're looking for corporate clients. This is a season for headshots, for LinkedIn profiles that get updated. We're doing some military balls at the end of May, I want to say, and then senior portraits. It's that time of year where you got to get your senior portraits, and you want them reasonably priced. So you definitely want to give us a call, 804-426-8934. Again, that's 804-426-8934 to get your best prices in the area.
And you see, she's rocking her gear. Also, the pin says, so you're there, you were the disgruntled parent, you were upset
No.
because those people on the school board need to do something, and you said, you know what? You know why I got you? You were already volunteer. You went up to Uncle and said, you know what? I want to volunteer for this military thing. I ain't exactly sure how it works. Where you're gonna send me. Really ain't gonna make a whole bunch of money. But you know what? I'll do that. I know. I volunteered, but it's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, I grew up with selfless service, right? And so the
Yes.
Army was just
Another step.
and it was the greatest honor in my career to be able to serve for as long as I did. And now with our children, what's going on in our community and in the country with what people are trying to do by impacting schools, they're starting to realize that if we can get to them this early, we can indoctrinate them. We can change the way they think about things. And school is supposed to be about teaching you how to think, not what to think. And we're not giving our teachers the opportunity to do what they've been trained to do. And I think that as a resident of the county, I've been going to those meetings, speaking out publicly. I've been on CNN, NBC12, CBS, everywhere, trying to get people to listen to what the issues are and why you're not listening to the community. And now it's time for me to have a seat at the table.
All righty. So I asked you before, running for office can be kind of brutal and hectic.
Yes,
Okay.
agreed.
So how do we find that next generation of people who are willing to go out and be public servants? Because remember back, see, you're younger than me, but back in the day, and you know, I hate to be like the old man back in the day, but back in the day, people didn't join the Army, they joined the service. Like, where's Bobby? He went to the service. He went to the service. So you understood service.
Right.
So now you're looking at being a servant for Chesterfield County for the school board. But now, you know, how you see what it's like to run for office, it can be kind of brutal. People can start calling names and bringing up dirt. No, that doesn't happen.
It's not happening for me.
Okay, knocking on that, whatever
Right.
that thing is.
So what we're gonna say is that the balance between it all is same thing with your small business, right? It's the passion. I'm turning my passion into profit, and my profit in this regard is to benefit the community that's overlooked. So Dale District is majority Black and brown people. We have a large Hispanic population, and no one is speaking to them. Pero yo puedo hablar conmigo, porque yo hablo español, right? And so because I speak the language and I can walk the walk and talk the talk, I think that gives me an opportunity to bridge the gap between that community and our schools.
Because a lot of times the folks who don't speak the language will not seek out and people start speaking for them.
Exactly. And we have to stop that.
Yes, there you go. That's inspirational right there. Alrighty, so when is that election?
It's November 7th. So
Okay.
we're a ways away, but there's no time like the present to read up on what's going on and the issues. Because this year's election, everybody's on the ballot. School board, board of supervisors, delegates, senate, everything is on the ballot. So it'll get really hectic the longer you wait to read up on what's going on in the community.
The one thing people always talk about is everyone runs and votes for the presidency. A lot of times people say you need to go vote for the people who are running for the school board.
Yes,
And a lot of times, if you come from other places, they may not have a delegate or all
Correct.
those things,
Mhm.
but every place has a school board.
yes.
And a lot of times people are not happy with what's happening at the school. And your remedy for that is,
Engagement. My platform is engagement, education, empowerment, and equity. And what I'm trying to do there is that I've been an engaged parent, but everybody can't come to those meetings.
Yes.
So what are we doing for the communities and the families who are working 2 jobs, who can't make it to your 6:30 meeting once a month? You need to do something to meet them. So I started a podcast. It's called Chatting with Chatters. It'll be launched. The trailer launched last week. The first episode drops on Friday. And I'm trying to meet people where they are. I'm going into the community. I'm going into your clubhouse. I'm going into your neighborhood library, renting a room so that we can talk about what the issues are and you can get the information the best way that you can receive it instead of expecting people to come always and find you.
There you go. Dominique Chatterley is here with us. One last time, how can people find you out there, ma'am?
So you can follow us on Facebook, JC3 Photography Solutions, and JC3 Photo Solutions on Instagram, or you can look me up on Facebook and Instagram under DR Chat. I'm Dominique Chatters, again, from JC3 Photography Solutions, and feel free to email us at info@JC3 Photography Solutions, or if you're interested in helping out with the campaign, because I can always use volunteers, info@DominiqueFordale.com. Again, that's info@DominiqueFordale.com.
Dominique Verdell, that's a good one.
Thank you.
That did it take a while to figure that one out?
No, not
That
really.
one
No,
came-
that one was easy. Like my last name is Chatters, chatting with Chatters.
I got that.
So our
That's good.
slogan is "Your voice matters" with Dominique Chatters. I mean, we're running with it. We're keeping it authentic to what I do and I am.
One of the things is, sometimes when you hear some people ask me, how do you get the name On the Mic with Mike? Original? Not really. I like the movie Bad Boys. And when he picks up the phone, what's he say?
No, Mike.
You're on the mic with Mike. And next thing you know, it's not going into that level of like, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Chatters. That's a good one. All right, on the mic with Mike. As I always say, the microphone ain't free. Plus our grandkids need stuff. So make sure you support our sponsors and advertisers.
Mike King is a businessman. He's a businessman with his own talk show. On the Mic with Mike, the best business radio program in the game.
I'm Reba Hollingsworth with CBS 6.
On the mic with Mike King here. We gotta go. Make sure you follow us on social platforms on the mic, Mike RVA, Mike King Biz. We're out here making a difference, talking to people who make a difference in the community. We gotta go. As I say, the microphone ain't free, plus my grandkids need stuff. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Now take care.